Bills!
Playoff caliber, now championship caliber. Just trust the process, and that process is.
Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of the Blue Cheese Blitz, the best podcast you can find about the Buffalo Bills. I'm joined by my co-host Adam Weitzel and Chance Anzawine. After a playoff win, how you guys doing? I got a little
Never
something
better.
to set the
First in my life.
I got a little something to set the mood for everybody. So I thought that was awesome to see from McDermott. I know he gives a lot of the coach speak, trust the process, everything. He's kind of buttoned up. But I think when you see that video and how focused the guys are on what he's saying, like he has all the respect. I think he must be a dog behind the scenes. Like he's just an absolute, like they just all love him. So I thought that was really cool to say they let that out. And we got to see kind of that part of him where, you know, you see why the players have so much respect for him and like him so much. I thought that was cool. But yeah, Chance, like you said, first playoff win that me or you have seen or can remember anyways. And Adam, the first one you've seen in since, what was that, 95? So awesome game. Bills beat the Colts 27-24. And not as well as we have been rolling, not as smooth as you probably would want it to be or think it could have been, you know. Kind of a dogfight it turned into, and it wasn't pretty, and it's just, you know, kind of doing whatever it took to make plays. And our field position was a big factor in the game. We started average drive at the 15, they started at the 30. The one stat that I saw I thought was crazy was every time they had the ball, they got into our territory. I mean, that's just every drive they're on our side of the field out of their 9 drives. So thought that was pretty crazy. Adam, what were you said the drives where they got down to and only came in with 3 points during the game?
Yeah, they got down to the 4, the 12, and the 15-yard line and walked away with only 3 points. That
right,
was
yeah.
So
that would be they made a field goal, missed a field goal off the upright, and they went forward on the 4th and goal from the 4.
Yep.
Which I thought, you know, was the biggest change in momentum that really for the whole game was we're down 10-7 at the time. They go forward on 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. He just misses Pittman. You know, if that connects, that's 17-7, you know, and they got all the momentum, but they miss it. Josh makes some unbelievable plays, some scramble plays, getting the ball down the field. We end up scoring and then double dipping after halftime. So, Chance, what were kind of your thoughts on that, like the whole momentum shift right there before the half?
Yeah, it was one thing I noticed this game more so than we've seen, especially in the closer Bills games this year, was that bend don't break defense that the Bills have had the last couple of years. That this year it's almost seemed like it's just bend and break. Playoffs so far, I mean, obviously the Chiefs or the Colts moved the ball the whole game. That was kind of surprising that they were able to do it with such ease and that through the air and the ground. But the defense, as poorly as they played in those key moments, they stepped up. Like you said, they got lucky with the missed field goal, but they stopped them on the 4th and goal. They got lucky with Michael Pittman dropping that ball, but you know, they still held them to 3 points in all 3 of those possessions. Huge.
Right, yeah. And I think the kind of the underrated part of that is you get the stop, you go down and score before halftime, you get the touchdown, it's 14-10, but also you come out after half and you get it going again. And yeah, you don't want to settle for field goals, but getting those points, you know, and making that a 10-point swing instead of you got the ball and you sputtered out and you had to punt, and it's still only, you know, a 4-point game. I thought that was big too. You know, that we got down there in field goal range and Bass was able to hit. So that was a big key in the game. He goes 2 for 2, 46 and 54 as a rookie kicker. And you know, Blankenship makes one, and then he misses kind of the chip shot 33-yarder off the upright. But Man, hopefully some better decisions from Andre Roberts going in next week. I don't know, that first punt, he calls for the fair catch. The ball hits the 10, he doesn't catch it. They down it at the 3, so you're already backed up, and you don't want to take too many risks and put yourself in a bad spot. So you end up punting, and they get it around midfield, as it is with Adam's favorite player, Corey Borges, with some great punts this Saturday.
God.
But you know, it was just nice to see. I thought Josh did a really good job of. He was a dog that made plays, and but he didn't get out of control, and he wasn't trying to do too much and be crazy. He's scrambling, finding guys in the silence. He's not scrambling and throwing it back to the middle of the field, and he's finding guys on the sidelines, or the play where the first touchdown to Dawson Knox, where he looks like he's running quarterback sweep, and then just as he's falling down, kind of shot puts it to the end zone. It's kind of, I guess it's a little bit of, last year, the lateral in the Houston game. Well, if he hits it, everyone loves him because it's the greatest play ever. But, it's kind of the success rate. But, Adam, is that cool for you to see the kind of the maturity and the growth of him in his decision-making process?
Man, I think that's probably been his biggest improvement, is he never looks rattled now. He's just, even when he does make not a great play, it seems like he's really adapted that mentality of a short memory and just gets on to the next play. And the next one's usually a great play, or he, redeems himself. So yeah, it's been amazing, especially when we be down. I think that's one of the big things as a young quarterback. He doesn't panic. I don't think Daboll starts to panic really as far as calling plays to keep him comfortable. But yeah, I still think, we were two for 9 on third downs against the Colts, and that's got to really improve for us to beat some of these better teams. And but he held the composure. 26 for 35, 324 with 2 tutters. I'll take it. I'll take it all day. So 0 picks. And, one of the big plays I thought, which was getting them to jump on that 4th down in their territory, and, getting that free play out of it and continuing the drive. So, nothing but 5 stars on my side for 17. That's for sure.
Right. And we talked about this on the pregame show before, not that this was complete disaster like the Steelers had, where you shot, they're down 14-0 or whatever, something like that right off the bat. But this was a game that started out in a way where he could press and he could try to force things and, and push himself into those bad decisions. They got the lead. They were controlling the ball. They were limiting our possessions, kind of how they wanted to play the style of the game. I thought that was cool to see. It's easy to make good decisions and everything when you got a big lead and you're kind of front running. But this style of game where he in the past would have started to, I call him, me and Chance, I talked to him, I call him first year JA versus this year, third year. It's like a totally different person. But, I thought it was nice to see him keep his composure when things were starting off in a way where he could, kind of get out of kind of lose his mind a little bit. So
yeah, kudos to the Colts and Frank Reich. I think they did a great job of game planning for that to keep Allen off the field.
Right.
Time of possession they had almost 10 more minutes than us, but we still powered through. But they had the right plan in place. They just didn't execute on some things, and we did, right? And that's what playoff games are about. So, yeah.
Yeah. Chance, do you want to talk about the terrible referee call or?
Fumble. It was a fumble. He was up.
Yeah.
His knee was like 3 inches off the ground. Get that call. I guess it was kind of a makeup call for the people who were calling Gabe Davis out of bounds on the catch. He was in bounds. I don't know what you got to make up for it.
Right.
But Adam kind of touched on 2 of the things I had marked was third down efficiency. Bills all year led the league. They were at 50% or 49.7% on third down efficiency this game. They come out 2 for 9. They had a couple long third downs that's kind of tough to convert on, but I mean, I'm hoping as we get further into the playoff, convert some of that stuff. And then time of possession, the Colts game plan was perfect. As you and I talked about a long game where they're just kind of hoping for that last possession. They don't care if they're down by a couple of points, if they're going to get the ball last and hope to score. And they almost did. It was a perfect game plan by them.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be what you're kind of seeing from the Browns next week when they play the Chiefs, but great job by the Colts, really.
Yeah. I thought we played really good situational football the entire game, except for Josh gets sacked. We have the fumble, the scare with that. We recover, but at the 2nd and 33, and we go next play, we go pass. It's incomplete. Even if you throw a 20-yard pass, it's still 3rd and 13.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to run the ball, if you want to pass the ball, give me a shallow cross, something where you catch and you run for 10 yards, but the clock's running. That was the time where, I think, we're going to be who we are. We're a passing team. We put the ball in the air. We trust 17. But at the same time, you have to play smart in situational football. I thought that was the only time really, besides the decisions by Andre Roberts, that I thought the situational football for us was lacking. And you hope that, just stuff like that, the more playoff experience you get, you realize how big those decisions are, and you make the right ones going forward. So, I'm not saying, you only run the ball if we have a lead late in the game, but that's 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 33. Those are 2 totally different things. So, but
didn't we snap it with time left on the play clock too?
Yeah,
like
he snapped
seconds, I think.
Yeah, the one, and the next one was like 10.
Mm-hmm.
with the running clock. So that's some things there where hopefully they review when you think, hey, because that's something you don't see Drew Brees do, or Aaron Rodgers, or Tom Brady. They don't do that. That ball's getting snapped with 2 seconds left. So, hopefully Josh, and I think he will. He's the type of person that is going to look to anywhere he can possibly improve. He's going to look to do that. So I'm not too worried about him there. I think that'll be a good learning lesson for him. But yeah, I think overall it was just a good, tough, mental toughness, just battling, finding a way to win. You could almost see that, like, in the way they were playing. Like, it doesn't matter how we got to do it. It's a defensive game, field position, our offense, we're going to find a way to win. So I think that bodes well going forward. Some injuries. Obviously, Moss had the bad ankle injury. He's out for the rest of the postseason. And, Beasley, he battled through. He had some big catches. He looked pretty hobbled towards the end of the game, where that could, be an issue again going forward. But if he had, I think 7 catches on the game and 60 some yards, but he was moving the chains, couple big plays. I know the one he caught in the flat, and there was 2 defenders, and he kind of snaked through them for the first down. So hopefully he can get healed up. Tremaine Edmonds is limited with a hamstring injury. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to play this week. And then we got a couple other guys that are unlimited. So, but looks like overall health wise, we should be pretty good going into the next game. But do you guys have any other points you want to touch on, or maybe some unsung players that stood out that aren't getting a lot of attention, but you guys thought were key parts of the game?
I'm going to come in and say Gabe Davis. He's had a pretty quiet for these rookie receivers we've seen having great between Claypool and Jefferson. Gabe Davis has had a pretty good year under the radar. Made a couple of huge plays late in the game when we needed him to, and I think up when all the attention's on Diggs and Beasley and those guys, it's nice to still have a guy you can go to when you want the ball in someone's hand to make a play. And I think Gabe Davis stepped up.
For sure.
You have anyone, Adam, that kind of?
I'd have to go with Williams, man, at left tackle. I think, the line as a whole did great. Him obviously being aware to jump on that fumble too. But I mean, for the 2 sacks, to me, they were both kind of like coverage-esque sacks.
Right. Yeah.
Josh just kind of held the ball pretty long. I think they had a great plan to kind of disrupt that front 4, especially with Buckner in the middle there. He is a fucking beast, man.
Yeah.
And
he was pretty quiet the whole game, I thought.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think even a couple of the runs that we popped off zone style towards him, we snuck through there and did a good job of zone blocking that. But I was pretty impressed with the line. I thought Buckner was going to be a lot bigger force in the middle, and we kind of contained him. So,
right. I want to touch on two things. One I thought was underrated were Josh's legs. One, his ability to extend plays outside the pocket, hit on some big passes, and then two, his straight up running ability. I don't love when we run like quarterback power. I don't think we're good at it. Before halftime, where he goes quarterback draw down to like the 5 and then zone read for the touchdown. I thought that was a huge part of the game, in game plan where he uses his legs as a weapon. And then I'll go with Tyler Bass. I mean, you're a rookie kicker, first ever playoff game. Nerves could be there, and not an easy place to. Yeah, right. There you go, big ball Bass. So not an easy place to kick, and it wasn't overly windy, but it was cold. And they said it wasn't windy for Buffalo standards, but it was windy. You saw the top of the uprights kind of shaking, and he absolutely strokes 46 and 54 and lets everybody know about it. So. Even though Dad can't stand him, I love him. I thought he did awesome. So I'll go with Tyler Bass as my underrated, unsung player for the game. So yeah, that kind of wraps us up for the Colts game. Wild card weekend, first playoff win since '95. It was awesome to have the fans back in the stadium. It sure seemed like more than 6,700. They were loud as hell, and some big third downs and stuff. But that'll wrap it up for episode 2. Make sure you check it out, and then look forward to Saturday afternoon. We will release our divisional round playoff game against the Baltimore Colts. We'll release that preview.
Playoff caliber, now championship caliber. Just trust the process, and that process is work hard.